Joining us now from Washington, Andrew Arthur is a resident fellow at the Center for Immigration Studies. He is a former immigration judge. He knows what this is all about. So, Judge, did I set it up in any way that is erroneous, or did I leave anything out that's important?
No, you made some very critical points. President Trump was willing to use the diplomatic power of the United States in order to force the Mexican government to control their own southern border. That's really the only way that you're going to control our southern border is by stopping those migrants from Central America, South America, and now all around the world from coming to the United States. And that is a key failure and error of the Biden administration.
The Biden administration now announced last week a number of different things, quotas on Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, Haiti, all of this, to show the American people that they were at least engaged in this problem. Did anything Biden did last week, is anything going to come of that to de-incentivize the problem?
No, in fact, it's going to make everything worse. President Biden announced that he's going to make 360,000 slots available. He doesn't have the power to do it, but he's going to parole 360,000 people from Nicaragua, Venezuela, Haiti, and Cuba into the United States. And most remarkably, Bill, he's going to set up a process by which migrants can phone ahead for interviews at the ports of entry. These are migrants who don't have any right to be in the United States, where they can be interviewed and then released into the United States. I guess his idea is that there is some set number of people who are going to enter the United States illegally. We know 2.2 million were apprehended last year, entering illegally, on top of 600,000 who just came right in and didn't get caught. But yeah, so all of those people who, don't get those opportunities to come to the United States, who, don't want to show up for their interviews, they're just going to continue to enter illegally. And until President Biden actually enforces the law that Congress has written, and that means by detaining aliens, by prosecuting aliens for entering illegally, or by doing what President Trump did and sending aliens back to Mexico to await their asylum hearings, nothing's going to change, and this is only going to make things worse.
That was the Remain in Mexico policy. Now, for the last 2 years, people and the cartels take money to transport people here. They tell them when you get to the United States on their soil, you want asylum. And then the Biden administration was just releasing them, just basically saying, yeah, show up in 5 years when your hearing will be set, because they have such a backlog, and you can go wherever you want. But the law says that you can't apply for asylum in the middle of the Arizona desert. You have to go to one of the ports of entry. But Biden didn't enforce that, correct?
Yeah, and what the law actually provides for is if you get apprehended entering illegally, you can ask for asylum, but you're also supposed to be detained. And in fact, it's that lack of detention, Bill, that has created this crisis. Remember, President Biden in his FY 2023 budget actually asked Congress to cut the number of detention beds he has available. He only wanted 25,000. The one good thing, if anything good came out of the omnibus, was Congress said, no, we're going to leave that at 34,000 beds. But, funneling migrants through the ports, funneling them across the border illegally, all of this is in violation of the law. And it is those violations of the law that has created this crisis and that aids and abets the cartels you're talking about. The cartels will send over large groups of migrants, knowing that the Border Patrol is going to have to rush over, flood the area with resources, send in buses. That creates corridors that the cartels can use to then ship that fentanyl into the United States. Bill, 107,000 Americans overdosed on fentanyl last year.
More than that, Judge. More than that, because a lot of those fentanyl deaths aren't categorized that way in the local areas. But the diversion tactic is, as you just pointed out, send a few hundred migrants into one place. Border Patrol has to come in and regulate them, and then leave the other parts empty so the cartels can bring in the narcotics.
Bill O'Reilly is back on TV and only on The First. No Spin News, every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on The First.